saying, teach us to number our days. Teach us to remember that each day is worth something. There's something there for us, and we need to continually be on watch for what the Lord can do through us and by us. And so we want to make sure that we're constantly looking for that opportunity to share Jesus with whoever we come in contact with. And so that's why it's so important, as we started out talking about Galatians this morning and being in step with the Spirit. Folks, it's important for us to start off the day right. It's important for us to start off the day crucifying that flesh and walking by the Spirit, so that we are walking in the will of the Father, so that we don't miss out on those opportunities to share Christ with others, not just by the words that we speak, but by our actions. By our actions. If you go back to Galatians, again, that's not the sermon today, but if you go back to Galatians, it talks about loving people and showing them the love of God. That's what we're to do. We're to live in the love for Jesus. They need to see it in us before they'll really want it. It has to be our testimony before them. So walk in step with the Spirit today. Don't waste a single day because something breaks or your plans don't go as you thought they should. Look for where God is going to show up in the midst of the struggle. And just trust that He has a plan, even if yours fall to pieces. Speaking of plans falling to pieces and things falling to pieces, turn back over with me, if you will, to 1 Samuel. We're going to jump back into our study. We're talking about David's life. We're preparing ourselves to go and see the story of David told by Sight and Sound Theater here in August, and I'm not going to be finished by the time we get there, but that's okay. At least I'm telling myself that's okay. So I want to give you a brief summary because there's just so much good stuff in this. Like, you don't have to watch a blockbuster movie to have thrillers and action. Like, go to 1 Samuel. I titled the sermon today, Love, Deception, and Murder. Like, if you're looking for a good flick, love, deception, and murder is going to hook you right in, right? And so it's all right here, and it's sad how it all plays out, but understanding how God moves through this whole situation and teaches impactful lessons is important. We'll start off by last week recapping what we talked about, which was awesome, by the way, and God's Spirit showing out how God's Spirit saved David. In chapter 19, verses 1 through 24, Saul instructed his men to go and kill David, but Jonathan intervened, and Saul, however, could not control his anger, and again threw a javelin at David. So this is the second time David had a javelin hurled at him. David fled to his house, where Michal, his wife, warned him that the king's men planned to kill him in the morning. She helped him escape an unseen and then deceived her father about David's whereabouts. Then David took refuge with Samuel at Ramah, and the Spirit of God protected him from the king by mysteriously causing the king and his men to act crazy like the prophets. Not crazy, but prophesying as they got close. So he sent 3 different groups of men to come and kill David. Those men began to prophesy. Then Saul himself came and he was prophesying, so much so that eventually he was naked in the streets, stripped of his royal clothes, foretelling the fact that he is no longer king of Israel, and that he is no longer wearing, he's done. Okay, and so that is foreshadowing all of that, and he is prophesying. That, my friends, is the power of our God. Okay, the Holy Spirit stops him in his tracks and humbles him in a way that only God can do, and stops him from committing this murder that he's trying to take out David. So we just flip to the next chapter, chapter 20, like nothing else happened, right? Like, we pick up in the next chapter. If you roll over to chapter 20, we're gonna condense today, okay? I told somebody that I did my best. I'm gonna try 3 chapters today, and Miss Diane is gonna put up here. I got you a map because this is crazy. This is David's flight from Saul. This is David running and trying to escape Saul's plight to kill him, okay? And so we're just gonna leave that up there, and you can just kind of follow the red arrows. And this is, you can see at the bottom the legend here. It says David's flight from Saul and David's return after Saul's death. But you can kind of start there at Ramah, where we talked about, and he's gonna run through all those places in different arrows. But follow along with me if you can. So we're going to pick up in 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 18 through 23. But I need you to understand that after all this happens, after Saul is laying naked in the street prophesying the things of God, it just kind of switches to the next chapter. It says, then David fled from Naioth to Ramah and came and said to Jonathan, what have I done? Like, was there not just men prophesying mysteriously about God, and was not the king laying in the road naked prophesying? We're not going to talk about that, like what happened, or we're just going to go on to the next part. Jonathan's going to say, what have I done? And Jonathan and David are going to come up with a plan to see just how upset and angry King Saul is with David. Can David return back to the family after this? Now, to me, after getting a javelin hurled at my head twice, makes me think things aren't going to work out. But Jonathan and David, they come up with this plan, and the plan is this, found in 18 through 23. It says, then Jonathan said to him, David, tomorrow is the new moon. You will be missed because your seat will be empty. When you have stayed for 3 days, you shall go down quickly and come to the place where you hid yourself on that eventful day, and you shall remain by the stone of Ezel. I will shoot 3 arrows to the side as though I shot at a target. And behold, I will send the lad saying, go find the arrows. If I specifically say to the lad, behold, the arrows are on this side of you, get them, then come, for there is safety for you and no harm, as the Lord lives. But if I say to the youth, behold, the arrows are beyond you, go, for the Lord has sent you away. As for an agreement of which you and I have spoken, behold, the Lord is between you and me forever. Remember that Jonathan and David are very close. They are brothers. They are tight. They have made 3 covenants, or they will have made 3 covenants between each other in the passages that we've read, because they are so tightly knit together. It says in the earlier scriptures that they were knitted together. So they had great love for each other. They understood each other. Both men of both soldiers. And so they instantly, in the very beginning, from the very time that he slew Goliath, these 2 men had a kinship together. And so Jonathan loved David, David loved Jonathan, and Jonathan was watching out for David. And I want you to understand something. Jonathan would be the next in line for the kingdom. But Jonathan understands, even in that day that he took off his armor and he gave it to David after he slew Goliath, he knew in that moment in time that he was looking at the next king. And it was symbolic for him to take off his royal garb and to give that to David in that moment in time. And so Jonathan, his selfless love here for David, knowing that he is God's anointed man, the next guy for the job, he is willing to go into his father's house, his father, the javelin thrower, okay? And to try to work things out, to try to smooth things over. Well, the results aren't as what we'd hoped, right? So we're going to jump to 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 30 through 33. It says, then Saul's anger burned against Jonathan. He said to him, you son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do I not know that you are choosing the son of Jesse